I'm so jiggy, gang. All the girls dig me, wanna get down, baby, just hear me out. You players trying to hate me, they trying to talk about what they really can't see. Now extra, extra, read all about it. There's a lot of player haters out there, mad cause I'm getting their girl. So I'm off to the west side, where I'm kicking it so fly. I got some homies in the truck just watching my back. That's how it is when you're jiggy like that. So who jiggy gang? No news drop.
ACT, you see this?
If it ain't official Dana J, Prima Donna News, I don't even want to see it.
Though we don't know what tomorrow will bring us, let's live today. I'm saying just in case. Although we don't know what tomorrow will bring us, let's live today. I'm saying just in case. Dear world, I'm writing this letter in attempt to make things just a little better. This is about living through life's stormy weather, because the truth is that we're not gonna live forever, and that's my point. Well, let me start with my boy that's doing 15 in a joint. Man, he could hoop, but he loved the street life. Could've went pro, instead he chose the street life. He turned rapper and wrote about the street life, but still could not make it out the street life. And one day he bought a Glock. Wait, now page number 2 will take you to another block. A man and his wife can't get along, all they do is fight. Both too stubborn to apologize, and sometimes it gets so bad they hope each other die. And one day she couldn't take it no more, so she decided to run out of the door. She jumped in the car and swerved off in a rage, and baby, I'm sorry was all over his face. Oh, we don't know what tomorrow will bring us. Let's live today. I'm saying just in case. Now that my homie done bought himself a gun, he stuck up some liquor stores, now he's on the run. Do anything to avoid the police. Now he's strung out on drugs and life is getting deep. To anyone, he would do anything. Give him the chance and he'd steal anything. Next thing he did really screwed up his life. But first, let's go back to the husband and wife. Now he's on the phone with his pastor, and she's on the phone with her mother. He tells his pastor, the woman is driving me crazy. Then swore up and down, she's not the same lady. She says, Mama, the man has been treating me so bad ever since we found out that I couldn't have babies. Then Mama says to her, girl, hold on. Pastor says to him, be strong. Oh, we don't know what tomorrow will bring us. Let's live today. I'm saying just in case. Although we don't know what tomorrow will bring us, let's live today. Saying just in case. Now there's a warrant out for my boy's arrest, cause he done went and stabbed someone in the chest. Man, them drugs just got him breaking all of the rules now. His face is posted up and all over the news now. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, the husband and wife are starting to break down. She says to Mama, maybe I ought to call him. And Mama said, now that's the spirit. He says to Pastor, maybe I should call and say I love her. He say, I'm sure she loves to hear it. Then she gets a call on the other line. It's the doctor saying your test results came back fine. Congrats, girl, you're pregnant. Then she cries, finally a miracle sent from heaven. Now meanwhile, the other side of town, all hell done broke loose and it's going down. Cops chasing Reginald all over town. He's running every red light and driving real wild. Now meanwhile, and this ain't fiction, here is where I need y'all to pay close attention. She's so happy, she calls her husband up. He says, I'm sorry, baby, just as soon as he picks up. She says, I'm sorry too, and I got good news for you. Steve, I'm pregnant and on my way home to you. He jumps for joy, scream hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. While Reginald is still chased by police. She takes the highway, it'll get her there much faster. Reginald on the skyway, chase lasting forever. With the helicopters right over his head, with the searchlights on him. Oh man, oh man. Now he starts panicking. Rachel's driving, so excited she's not realizing that just a block away, a man is on the run, while the husband's at home praying for a son. And the policeman is screaming, pull the car. Rachel calls her husband and says, I'm getting close. He says, honey, I'm fixing up something special in the kitchen. And at the same time, Reginald makes a stupid decision. He turns down a one-way street. Then Rachel notices this car coming and yells out, the out of control, a senseless mission. Next thing you know, a head-on collision. No, we don't know what tomorrow will bring us. Let's live today. I'm saying just in case.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
But I know that there's more. More for you, more for us.
Children, rain all night long. Didn't it all, didn't it all, oh my Lord, didn't it rain? Didn't it rain, children? Rain all night long. Didn't it all? Didn't it all? Oh, my Lord, didn't it rain? You can't run from it. You can't deny it. You can't pass it off. It's your call. God knew what he was doing. He knew who he was calling. And he expertly and intricately detailed every aspect of your life, your being, your persona, your psyche, your physicality, everything about you, from the texture of your hair to the color of your eyes to the way that you laugh to the fingerprint on your thumb. Everything is connected to your calling. And until you walk into the fullness of the thing that you were created for, you will find yourself frustrated. You're called. May I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. New news drop, everybody stops and comes running, running, running. Oh, just to see what Dana J have to say. Yeah. He brings the truth, oh, day by day. Oh, live for live. Now here's what you need to do. Come on, jump into live now. See what the receiver man is talking about. Dana J is on and ready to give you flavor full of baby, cause he on. Let's go. Jump into live now. See what the receiver man is talking about. Dana J is on and ready to give you flavor full of baby, cause he on. Live in living color, baby. Your favorite blogger is locked and loaded and ready to go. What's going on? What's going on? Shout out to everybody that's here, man. Y'all know how I had to do it. Nah, I mean, gotta put the intro in there. We gotta lock it down. What's going on? Shout out to everybody in the building. How y'all living? I'm late. Don't blame it on me, man. Don't blame it on me. I apologize. Blame it on certain situations. Don't blame it on me. Don't blame it on me. Hey, man, y'all be saying stuff in the wrong chat at the wrong time. But I like some of the stuff that y'all be saying, man. And I say it once, I say it again. If you want to donate to the channel, hit the super chat or the super bag, whatever platform you're on. I thank you so much for joining me. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to rock with Dana J. I'm just trying to say. I'm working on an outro, y'all. So just bear along with me. I'm working on an outro. I knocked out the intro. I did all that. I'm working on the outro. I'm going to say, if you want to donate via Cash App, you go and hit me at $official Dana J. I do split that with my channel. You know what I mean? I got some, but I got some things that, I'm about to accomplish. I got some things that I want to get. So listen, every donation is welcome. One thing I'm not going to do is just sit here and be like, please give me the channel. No. That's not mandatory. What's mandatory is that y'all violate the heck out of me and hit that like button. Hit that like button, y'all. I mean, hit that bang that like button, like boom, 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 boom. Like, share, and subscribe. That's all I say. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm about to act ghetto. Like, share, and subscribe. That's all I need you to do. Like, share, and subscribe. Look, check it out, man. I want to thank everybody that's been here from day one. I got some giveaways coming. So trust me, you will not be in the dark. I want to appreciate everybody that been here from day one. If you've been a day one, I salute y'all. Even if you haven't been a day one, I still salute y'all. You know what I mean? One thing I always say though, if you a mod for somebody that don't like me, I will never put you in a place where you have to make a decision. I will make the decision for you. If you like it there, go where you like it at. Be with the like-minded folks. Never hang around somewhere that you really don't like. You know what I'm saying? Go be with who you want to be with. Go be with the like-minded people. And I had people that was with me before and they was, oh no, I can't believe you saying that and this and this. Yeah, I'm saying it. And the minute I stopped saying it, that's when all confusion and hell broke loose. I ain't doing it no more. New year coming in. The new year is here. In my book, I don't got time for it. No drama in my life. That's where I'm at. No drama in my life. And I don't care who you are. Also, I'm going to say this. And it's a stern warning. It's one thing to talk about me in my face and I can defend myself.
But if I ever catch you on a 3-way call dogging me, it's going to be a problem. Now, I've let some things slide. Certain people you won't even see me talking to no more. But don't smile in my face and start talking about me behind my back. I don't play those type of games. I play for keeps. So with that being said, I'm going to continue the R. Kelly paperwork, and I'm going to close that out tonight. I'm going to read it until it's over with. Shout out to everybody that's here. Meek, what's up, baby? Shout out to Prima Donna in the building. EJ Willie, Tundra, who else? To Neil, Galatians, Judah, Willie, anybody else that I missed? Miss Lady T, anybody I missed? Dream Team members, Leisha, Toy, Anisi, G Joy, anybody that I missed, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna keep it real. Tomorrow, I plan on having one of the best interviews of this year tomorrow. So tune in. Tune in when I go live tomorrow. I ain't gonna say no names yet. What's up? And what's up, LaMarcus? I ain't gonna say no names who it is, but I'm gonna say this. He's been in the criminal justice field for over 20 years. You see what I'm saying? He's been in the criminal justice field for over 20 years. And no, it's not Gerald Griggs. No, it's not Gerald Griggs. I can get Gerald on here, but if I get Gerald on here, I'm not talking about no craziness. I want to talk about what's going on right now. But that's another live for something else, because you seen Willie posted. New York, rest in peace. I said, ooh, Willie, you on the wrong live. We ain't talking about that. But I will say this. A certain lawyer I looked at today, and it scared me. Anytime a person is jumping from the hot potato to the hot potato, it's a problem for me. It's a big problem for me. I'm big on loyalty. I'm not going to tell you who the lawyer is. Just understand that if you have social media, you already know who the lawyer is. But just understand that certain things are scary in this day and time. So I'm about to jump on this R. Kelly ticket one last time until something else breaks, which I pray will be a pardon, a full pardon, or a full commuting by Donald J. Trump. However, there's some things that I want to go over, and then I'm going to re-release a video that I did titled R. Kelly's Coming Home. So let's start. B, the sentence imposed by this court and post-conviction procedural history. On February 23rd, 2023, the Honorable Harry D. Levenweather sentenced defendant to 20 years imprisonment, with 1 year of the sentence on counts 1, 2, and 3 to be served consecutively to the 30-year sentence imposed upon defendant for racketeering and Mann Act violations in the United States District Court of the Eastern District of New York, docket 426 and 428. United States versus Robert Sylvester Kelly. Pause. I got one question to ask. If you're going to impose the United States as a man or as a woman, that means you have a person, a man or a woman, who have seen the United States. The question is, how can the United States bring charges against me and I've never seen the United States of America? I don't know who she is. I don't know who he is. So the charges have to be fraudulent. But it says versus Robert Sylvester Kelly, number 19 CR 286 AMD EDNY docket 238. Pause. If you're saying that Judge Leavenweather sentenced him, why you put the Eastern District of New York in here as well? But anyway, on April 26, 2024, the Seventh Circuit affirmed both Kelly's conviction and the sentence imposed by this court, United States versus Robert Sylvester Kelly, 99th, 4th, 1018, 7th Circuit, 2024. So for the people that said, oh, he went to the appeals court. He went to the appeals court. This is the Seventh Circuit, not the Supreme Court. What is that? So right here, say on October the 7th, 2024, the Supreme Court denied Kelly's petition for a writ of certiorari. Watch this. That's their standard practice. Whenever they have enough cases that's overflowing them and tying them down, any new cases that come behind, they're going to deny it. But the government is making it seem like that no, the Supreme Court didn't want to hear it. No, they were already booked for their cases. And the thing is, they can't go into a new calendar year with cases from the past calendar year because they are the ultimate court. And the ultimate court have to free up everything, whether they dismiss it and have you come back or what. On June 11, 2025, defendant filed an emergency motion for temporary furlough from custody, along with several supplements to his motion, docket 485, 487, 489, 491, and 495. The government responded on June 16, 2025, docket 490. See also docket 492 and 494. The court denied defendant's motion in a written order on June 19, 2025, docket number 47. The next day, defendant filed a motion for a new trial and an emergency motion for bond. And in a separate filing, a motion to disqualify the U.S. Attorney's Office, docket 498, 499. On June the 24th, 2025, the court denied defendant's motion for bond and, among other things, directed the government, to respond to the motion to disqualify the U.S. Attorney's Office by July the 22nd, 2025, docket number 501. Once the motion was fully briefed, the court denied defendant's motion to disqualify the U.S. Attorney's Office, docket number 514. In the same order, the court directed the government to respond to defendant's motion for a new trial. C. Kelly alleges a conspiracy to steal his jail correspondence and use it to convince Jane to cooperate, even though Jane had already cooperated before Kelly was in jail. Pause. Which Jane you talking about? Once again, if you're talking about Azriel, that's a lie, because how can Azriel already go to a grand jury and before Kelly was in jail, she was up under Kelly? So make this make sense. And if she, let's go here. I like to play devil's advocate. If she cooperated, right, before Kelly was in jail, that means that she was orchestrated to set R. Kelly up. But the question is, if she was orchestrated to set R. Kelly up, what will be the benefit from her setting R. Kelly up at that time? Because at that time, she was all R. Kelly. But wait a minute, I'm going to pause again. Because now there's a third stint. And like I said, a lot of them people on the Old Cove side was just running with what Larry was saying because Larry had a good mouthpiece and he can talk, right? I give it to him. However, if this is the case, right? Larry mentioned something about Greenberg. Larry mentioned something about Greenberg having paperwork on Azriel and Joycelyn. I'm going to give you a third scenario to think about. Could it have been that Greenberg, behind everybody's back, took Azriel down to the court, to the grand jury, to testify against Kelly, while Kelly was either asleep or somewhere handling business? Because remember, Greenberg was the only one that was traveling around when Rob got locked up. Without Greenberg and without Don Russell, Azriel couldn't move. Neither could Joy. Because they wanted to make sure that Rob's women was protected and not being attacked. I'm just giving you different sides to think about. I'm just giving you something to think about. And LaMarcus says 6 years of bees and Diddy gets 4 years. Shaking my head. Free my dog Kels. Facts. Robert gets locked up off of hearsay and hurt feelings and get over a decade. Diddy gets locked up off of video evidence that the world seen and gets 4 years. Can somebody make this make sense? So it says so it says the overwhelming majority of the allegations in Kelly's motion are made without citation to an affidavit, the record, or any other form of evidence, including 100% of the allegations pertaining to Jane. Now watch this. Which Jane are you talking about? Because Roshana have now said that she want to testify against the government. Azriel is quiet now. So it says Kelly alleges that after he was charged and held in custody at the MCC in Chicago, a conspiracy formed to steal his legal correspondence and private emails. Docket 498 at 5-6. Kelly goes on to allege that after his communications were stolen, they were provided to an alleged government informant who then arranged a meeting with Jane and Jane, New York and Los Angeles in November 2018. Pause. That's not alleged. Because how was Hollywood Next mail read on the internet by the PI? How was my letter read on the internet by the PI? Who gave the letters to the PI and Keith? I'm going to take you one further. Who gave R. Kelly first jail letters that was in storage to Choke No Joke to read with a lot of added fluff and bullcrap? So docket number 498 at 8-9 at this supposed meeting in Los Angeles in November 2018, the alleged government informant showed Jane and Jane, New York, Kelly stolen emails and letters. Hold on. They are confusing what was said. And they putting it all together to make it seem like what's being said is not what was being said. So let me break this down for some people. Right? Rob talked about his stuff being stolen by his cellmate in MCC. And they put him back in the same cell when he went back to MCC. So he talked about that. And them letters were given to, different people and the government and within this facility. The other government informant, which was Larry McGee, They said Larry showed Jane, which was Azriel and Rashona, some other emails and letters that he got from Tasha K. Now, did I break that down for y'all? So then it says Kelly, who purports to attribute statements directly to Jane in his motion, alleges that Jane never would have cooperated against Kelly had she not seen Kelly's stolen jail correspondence. Facts. Docket number 498 at 9. Kelly characterizes Jane's exposure to Kelly's correspondence at this meeting in Los Angeles in November 2018 as Brady and Giglio that should have been disclosed, and that Kelly only learned that this correspondence had been used to convince Jane to cooperate after the trial. Watch this. Why don't they specify which Jane it is? See, the government tactics are nothing but deception. And they want the people to feel as though, oh, Robert's crazy. So now that Robert has exposed the government and for what they really are and for what they really do, now they put this all together and to make it seem like he's crazy and he's a pedo. This is all done by design. So it says making it newly discovered evidence for purposes of Rule 33. See docket 498 at 26 to 27. Pause. It is new evidence because the evidence that has come out with Bo Brinley and Robert, that was the same evidence that was going to come out with Jennifer Bonjean. But Bonjean had other cases to carry and to talk about and to try to fight. So now that Bo Brinley and them has discovered this, they ran with this. So that's new evidence because none of us knew about Robert's cellmate. None of us never knew about the deeper situations that was going on with the federal government workers. We never knew that. Nobody knew that. But what the government is telling you is that that's not new. And the government is saying they knew that. They knew all about it, but it wasn't their place to tell it. So Kelly also alleges that Jane was coerced to testify because the government made Jane aware that it had evidence that her parents had conspired with Kelly to obstruct. See what I mean? They are making it seem like this is just one Jane. So it says Kelly also alleges that Jane was coerced to testify because the government made Jane aware that it had evidence that her parents had conspired with Kelly to obstruct his 2008 criminal trial by accepting payments in exchange for testifying that she was not the child in video one. Pause. What the government ain't going to say is that Robert Kelly was acquitted of that charge. Not once, but twice. So why would the government bring up that one simple thing? Because they don't want you to think that this is double jeopardy, which it is. So in video one, she was not the woman in video one. Not a child, but she was not the woman in video one. For the people who wasn't here yesterday, I showed y'all exactly who the woman was in video one. And her name is Angelina Prado. Her name is Angelina Prado, AKA Birdie. This is not Roshona. Okay, you want to think I'm joking. I need 15-year-old Roshona. Hold on. Let me go grab 15-year-old Roshona. Hold on. Let me close this. Hold on. Let me see something. Let me see something. Let me do it this way. I need 15 euro, Shona. Scroll, scroll, scroll your boat gently down the stream. I need 15 euro, Shona, because I'm going to prove a point real quick. And this is why Robert needs people that's going to be in the, speaking of this, Robert's going to be in this, he needs people that's going to be in this fight that's not just going to be for Robert, but that's going to tell the truth on all fronts. You know what I'm saying? I want to show y'all. Where's it at? I got the picture too. That's what I get. I got the picture too. Jeez. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Forget it. I ain't gonna make y'all wait. I'm gonna post it on my community wall. I ain't gonna make y'all wait. So what I'm gonna do is finish going here. Okay. So it says she was not the child in video 1. I'll post this. All right, let's rock. In video 1, and that Jane was further induced to testify with the prospect of a substantial financial award. Docket number 498 at 5. Kelly alleges that these supposed revelations should have been disclosed, and that Kelly only learned that these things were communicated to Jane after the trial, making it newly discovered evidence for purposes of Rule 33. See docket 498 at 26 to 27. Listen, y'all. None of Kelly's allegations can be characterized as newly discovered. To the contrary, the allegations upon which he relies are either unsupported by any evidence, objectively not true based on the public record, or plainly not new. Look at how Queen B, what are you talking about? Are you coming in late? Are you coming in late? I'm talking about something else and you jumping. Hold on. Listen, how they set this up. Jane, they said the allegations upon which he relies are either unsupported by any evidence. Well, we seen the evidence. Objectively not true based on a public record. Well, we seen the evidence go on public record. Or plainly not new. Now watch this. Why is not new in parentheses? Ask yourself that question. Why was that in parentheses? Why is it highlighted like that? Then it says Jane was cross-examined at trial by Kelly's attorney about when she decided to cooperate. Jane testified during questioning by Kelly's attorney that she was initially uninterested in cooperating with the government, but began cooperating with the government on April the 18th, 2019. Watch this. What happened on April the 18th, 2019? Remember when I said the setup is much bigger than what people understood? April the 18th, 2019. What happened? Wasn't that a court date for Robert that got canceled in Chicago. And everybody was wondering why this date got canceled all of a sudden. That means she had to be represented by somebody to go to the grand jury, right? Watch what the government say. Kelly's attorney was aware of this. The attorney at the time was who? Stephen Greenberg. What happened on April the 19th? Wasn't that the Gayle King joint? Uh-oh. Then it says, because the relevant reports were produced in discovery prior to the trial. Thereafter, on May the 29th, 2019, Jane testified to the grand jury as to the substance of the testimony she later offered at trial. See under seal Exhibit 1. Jane's grand jury transcript was also produced in discovery prior to the trial. According to the public docket in this case, Kelly was indicted on July 11th, 2019, and arrested on the same day for the charges brought in the Northern District of Illinois and the Eastern District of New York, docket 1, 8, and 24. Pause. If that's the case, when I said Greenberg was playing double duty before, when the Chicago crew went and took those little bit of checks down there, now it makes sense of why Greenberg wanted to have paperwork on Joy and Azriel, because he took them down there, allegedly, to the grand jury. That part, Greenberg did lie and say he wasn't there also. So when you have a counsel that's playing double duty and that will go on TV and say, yeah, and my client married Aaliyah. And when a person like me, a person like Hollywood Next, a person like Prima Donna calls that out as a red flag and everybody go crazy. Oh no, oh you can't say that about his lawyer. That's his lawyer. That's called insufficient counsel. On top of that, ain't that's what they call client privilege, client attorney privilege? I'm telling you, man, I'm about to go back to school and get my law license. I'm about to be the male version of Olivia Pope. I'm telling you. I told y'all, if you sit back and watch, it all unravels for you. Pray about it and sit back and watch. It will all unravel for you. And all the people that had secret meetings with Greenberg was privy to this. Watch this. Now I'm about to bring some truth out there. Why you think Trent snapped? And all of a sudden said F R. Kelly and F everybody else after leaving Greenberg's office. Make it make sense. So it says, thus, it is impossible for Kelly's jail correspondence to have been it is impossible for Kelly's jail correspondence to have been the impetus for Jane to cooperate. As alleged in Kelly's motion to the contrary, as she testified at trial, Jane cooperated well before Kelly was taken into custody. So that means she played all of us. Because what did she say? Oh, Kelly's my man. That's my man. It's my man. It's my man. I keep saying it. I keep saying it. If a woman give you a red flag in the beginning that she can't be trusted and that she a liar, she always will be a liar. So it says Jane cooperated well before Kelly was taken into custody. Likewise, it is not possible for Kelly's stolen jail correspondence to have been shown in a clandestine meeting in Los Angeles in November 2018 when Kelly wasn't taken into custody until July 2019. Pause. That's a lie. That's a lie. You know what? Hold on. Because see, now people want to play games. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of that. Let's go to some videos. Those people want to play games, right? So since people want to play games, let's see.
Don't tell me on this motherfucking YouTube.
Okay, let's start here. Because people want to play games. Okay. Let's go here.
Don't tell me on this motherfucking YouTube street, y'all know this nigga. Y'all don't know how long I hold shit that I know about a nigga. I just want to see how deep a nigga would cut you. You just allow a motherfucker enough rope to hang their own self. And see, I'm not the coward that these motherfucking YouTubers want me to be. So that's why I had to address him before he went in. Am I apologetic that it's the timing? I don't give a fuck about timing. That shit means nothing to me.
Right.
It means something to everybody that want to feel weak to a shit. But they need to look in their own goddamn family and see how many motherfuckers locked up in their motherfucking family and highlight them. Write them some motherfucking letters and feel this sorry for that people that's locked up that they ain't sent a money order in probably years. How about
Listen to what he's saying. He's telling you about the case without saying it. It's called decoding.
that? I don't feel sorry for a goddamn grown-ass man that crossed me and do shit behind my back.
All right. Now, hold on. Let me see if this...
Things that contribute
Nope.
or attribute.
They're not going anywhere. Has R. Kelly ever tried you? No, but I've been with someone, Lisa. That's my homegirl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know Lisa?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Goddamn lawyer ass that fucking talk out the side of his ass. And as much as y'all caught him in lies from the very beginning, y'all still in favor of every time he say something, y'all motherfuckers running that shit all through the blog. Oh, R. Kelly lawyer said that. Fuck him.
Listen, ain't none of us pick up on what Angelo was really saying about Greenberg. Check this out.
Goddamn lawyer ass that fucking talk out the side of his ass. And as much as y'all caught him in lies from the very beginning, y'all still in favor of every time he say something, y'all motherfuckers running that shit all through the blog. Oh, R. Kelly lawyer said that. Fuck him. Like, this shit is terrible, man. This shit, y'all motherfuckers is so much in controversy that y'all really missing a really important situation that's going on. And that important situation is two girls that are mentally fucked up. Yep. And let me that shit with TMZ, you motherfuckers keep on fucking putting up the girls as sex slaves and we got them held against. Motherfucker, y'all know what the fuck we mean. Change the title when y'all fucking talk about the girls. All you fucking social media bloggers too. And the goddamn YouTubers. You motherfuckers keep on, oh, the girls, the father of the girl.
Why do he want people to change the titles? Because maybe he know that the titles that was being ran with wasn't true. Let's go.
Hell high. I ain't nobody, she mentally held hostage. Right. You know what the fuck that mean?
So hold on. So now you mean to tell me that one of the parents of Jane is saying that nobody was held hostage? And this is evidence that what the hell a lady name up in New York and the judge in New York, she wouldn't let this in. Listen.
The girls, the father of the girl held hostage. I ain't nobody, she mentally held hostage. Right. You know what the fuck that mean? Mentally held hostage. Meaning that you're mentally broke. Exactly. So therefore, you can tell a motherfucker it's a wall right there and ain't shit right there and they won't go past that earth. Exactly. They are mentally broken.
Stockholm syndrome.
Motherfuckers keep on talking that dumb ass shit, man, making us look like we fucking we this motherfuckers out here just chasing for nothing. You know how much goddamn money I spent of my own personal fucking savings in chasing my goddamn daughter in this situation? Y'all motherfuckers is crazy, man. I love my daughter. Exactly. I love my motherfucking daughter. Understand that. So ain't nothing that motherfucker gonna do to be able to keep me away from my child. Nothing. Ain't shit she gonna be able to say or none of that. Right. Fuck out of here, man. I know fuck for 2 years straight. Angelo tell you, it is straight. No work, no nothing. Chasing this every day, day and night, talking about this. So when y'all say we don't love our kids, love my daughter to death, man. That's real talk. That's the real deal. You know, that's the reason why me and Angelo bond so much, because this was a day and night situation. You know, from the time from in the December in the year of 2016 until now, it's been this like this from day one.
So I got a question. Why your daughter not home yet, Tim? Hold on. Let's look at some other stuff.
They got the cable cut back on in the trunk from here. Paid for it here. Was supposed to go to Chicago, break Joycelyn's phone so they couldn't call. You hear me? To break her phone. Her and her friend named Taylor. To break her phone. And her and Taylor was gonna make her watch Surviving R. Kelly for 18 hours straight.
So the government said that didn't happen. Wasn't that coercion? Because the same thing that happened to Azriel, right? So how can the government say that didn't happen? Let's finish.
I will never be on anything.
This was May the 16th, 2019. Right here.
Part of surviving anybody. Period. If I do anything, it's going to be by myself on my own dime, and I have creative rights over everything. Because I would never want my story to be chopped and screwed. I saw a lot of the people on there was saying that their story was chopped and screwed, you know, including my parents, and I would just never.
Savage's knew about this. Savage's daughter knew about this. This could be corroborated. All of that pressing charges. Who do you think she was on the phone with before she was calling the police? She was on the phone with me. Yes, press charges. Press charges. We're trying to get her away from the Trump. Go home to your damn parents. They calling. Go home to your parents. Here, take the last of this budget. Because he drops it off to 10,000, 12,000 a month. And this is the budget. This is your money for the month. See, I know how it go. And he's the money man. He's the one that drops it off. Because that's what his best friend want him to do.
So, hold on.
Go to jail, mama. Jail. Where my phone at? Where my phone?
When Ash left here, she left here to go to Chicago to break Joycelyn's phone. They got the cable cut back on in the trunk from here. Paid for it here. Was supposed to go to Chicago, break Joycelyn's phone so they couldn't call. You hear me? To break her phone. Her and her friend named Taylor. To break her phone. And her and Taylor was going to make her.
I got another question. I got a question. And my question is this. Why, and I'm going to ask this for real. Why do you think that Joy didn't want to be around Greenberg? I'm just saying. Allegedly. So when the government sit back and say that certain things didn't happen, like a clandestine meeting, meaning a fake meeting, we all know that happened. And then it says, when Kelly wasn't taken into custody until July 2019. So a meeting can't take place in 2018. I'm sorry. So a meeting can't take place in 2018. Now, let's go here. Was that meeting in 2018 or in 2019? And which Jane are you talking about? So then it says Jane also testified during cross-examination by Kelly's attorney at trial about her and her parents' potential criminal exposure and having received immunity prior to testifying. What? Jane was also cross-examined on the prospect of receiving restitution if Kelly were convicted at trial and about other benefits Jane received from the government, including Section 8 housing, a down payment, and travel to Florida. See how they mixing the two people together? This is crazy. Because what they're doing is they mixing both stories and making it one. No, this is two separate stories. Jane, New York, never got Section 8 housing. Jane, Chicago did. Jane, New York, got to go to Florida, got to travel to Florida. Jane, Chicago didn't. Jane, New York, got a $350,000 carrot dangled over her head. Jane, Chicago, got a $20 million bag dangled over her head. It's a totally different thing. You cannot mix both stories together and make it one because it's not one story. And this is why you got other parents out here that's going crazy about their child that was end up missing because everybody want to mix it and make it, oh, this is what happens around R. Kelly and his crew. This is what happens around R. Kelly and his crew. This is what happened around R. Kelly and his crew. Time out. I'm going to go here. If R. Kelly wasn't famous, would this be what happened around R. Kelly and his crew? Now, I don't mind upsetting the masses because I'm pointing the facts and shaking the tree. If I was R. Kelly and I got hit with these charges, do you think they would give somebody Section 8 housing for the rest of their life, free EBT for the rest of their life, and $20 million just to testify on me? Hell no. Understand the play that's being played in your face. But then when you understand the play, take yourself out the play, take a good look at the play, and then overstand the play. Some people caught what I just said and some people didn't. Argument. Defendant's Rule 33 motion is based on his claim that he discovered evidence post-trial that prosecutors obtained defendant's privileged legal mail and used that to influence a government witness, Jane. Watch this. Not both Janes, but a government witness. Look at the way that is worded. Into changing her story. See docket 498 at 23. He claims that evidence of prosecutors meeting with Jane and other impeachment material about Jane was not disclosed, and it wasn't. He alleged violations of Brady Giglio, as well as arguing that his Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights were violated. None of Kelly's arguments have merit, and his motion for a new trial should be denied. A, legal standing. A district court may grant a new trial if the interest of justice so requires. Fed R. Crim P33A. A new trial is in the interest of the justice where the substantial rights of the defendant have been jeopardized by errors or omissions during trial. So you're trying to say now that it was no errors and no omissions. Niggas, get out my face. Play with somebody else. Play with them clowns over there. United States versus Casnia case law. Put differently, a defendant is entitled to a new trial if there is a reasonable possibility that the trial error had a prejudicial effect on a jury's verdict. Pause. That means Robert should get a new trial because a lot of stuff that came out with Bo Brinley, we didn't know. Nobody else knew. He didn't know. So guess what? Guess what? New trial. And when Robert tried to go to Ann Donnelly, that's her name, tried to go to Ann Donnelly to talk about the stuff that Tasha K did, Ann Donnelly swept it under the rug. So guess what? He needs a new trial because the judge was practicing from the bench. United States versus Macklin case law. Quoting United States versus Flournoy case law. Granting a new trial in the interest of justice is reserved for only the most extreme cases, and courts approach such motions with great caution. United States versus Koskia case law. Quoting United States versus Hagler case law. That is because courts are weary of second guessing the determinations of both judge and jury, quoting Hagler case law. So I got a question. Why haven't we heard from none of R. Kelly jurors yet? In either one of the cases? Can somebody answer that? Why? That part, Queen B, I totally agree. A motion for a new trial. Okay. Also, United States versus Santos case law. A jury verdict in a criminal case is not to be overturned lightly, and therefore a Rule 33 motion is not to be granted lightly. A motion for a new trial based on newly discovered evidence must be filed within 3 years after the verdict. Fed R. Crim P 33B1. Under that rule, the interest of justice requires a new trial if the additional evidence, 1, was discovered after trial, 2, could not have been discovered sooner through the exercise of due diligence, 3, is material and not merely impeaching or cumulative, and 4, probably would have led to an acquittal. So I'm going to ask y'all this question. Do you think the evidence that was presented by Bo Brinley could have had a major impact on Robert Kelly case and led to an acquittal? Yes or no? Put yes if you think so, put no if you don't think so. United States versus Coleman case law, United States versus O'Malley case law. If not brought under Rule 33B1, then under Rule 33B2, any motion for a new trial grounded on any reason other than newly discovered evidence must be filed within 14 days after the verdict or finding of guilty. Fed R. Crim P 33B2. To establish a Brady violation, the defendant must demonstrate that the government suppressed evidence teaching and that prejudice resulted. United States versus Coleman case law. Also United States versus Matrival case law. B, Kelly's motion is untimely. Under Rule 33B2, any motion for a new trial grounded on any reason other than newly discovered evidence must be filed within 14 days after the verdict of finding of guilty. Not true. In this case, any motion for a new trial under Rule 33B2 would have been due on or before September the 28th, 2022, after Kelly was found guilty on September the 14th, 2022. See docket 335. Notably, Kelly did file 2 motions for a new trial under Rule 33, on which one of which argued that Jane testified falsely at trial regarding her intention to seek restitution if Kelly were convicted. Docket 338-48. Both motions were denied in a written order on February the 16th, 2023. Docket number 416. Any motion for a new trial based on anything other than newly discovered evidence is now untimely. So hold on. That's newly discovered evidence. So how's it untimely? And Kelly's motion is in fact untimely because it is not based upon newly discovered evidence for the reasons discussed in further detail below. Watch this. Just because it's not, you know what, I'm going to go here first before I say anything. Kelly's motion is not based on newly discovered evidence. Kelly tries to couch his motion as one based upon newly discovered evidence to prevent it from being dismissed as untimely. But there's nothing new about Jane and her family receiving immunity or the prospect of Jane receiving restitution of benefits. Which Jane you talking about? Jane was cross-examined on each of these topics at trial. For example, defendant cites the fact that Jane was promised restitution as newly discovered evidence. See docket 498-26. The government also failed to disclose the financial promises it made to Jane. This is patently untrue. For example, defendant's attorney. And isn't it true that the United States Attorney's Office told you that you would be entitled to restitution if Mr. Kelly was convicted, right? Jane said yes. Defendant's attorney, and restitution is money, right? Yes. Defendant's attorney, and you were seeking restitution or will seek restitution if he is convicted, correct? Jane, I'm still undecided with that. No, that is not correct. Pause. That means Roshona lied under oath. But hold on. I thought we was talking about Azriel. Now watch this. This is Roshona. Now watch this. Defendant's attorney. You haven't decided whether you were going to seek restitution? No. Defendant's attorney. But you know you have the right to seek restitution, right? That is correct. Defendant's attorney. And the U.S. attorneys told you that you had the right to seek restitution even before you ended up giving and cooperating with them, right? Now this is Azriel. That's Azriel. So this whole thing is misleading. This whole denial from the government is misleading. Jane said that is correct. Jane was cross-examined on this topic several more times by defendant's attorney. For example, defendant's attorney, okay, and did you have the conversations about restitution with former NDILAUSA on the phone? No, not that I can remember over the phone. Pause. This is Roshona. And Roshona was telling the truth. No, it was through email because she was called Boss Baby. Exactly, Prima. And they lied about the date of expulsion. So Jane said, no, not that I can remember the phone. Defendant's attorney, who did you speak to about the restitution? The restitution was, I actually can't remember how it started out. From what I think I remember is that we were in person when that was presented to us. But I thought the government said that never happened. She's saying that they was in person. Defendant's attorney, which is Jennifer Bonjean. Okay. And she presented it to you, right? Yes. The cross-examination on this topic continue as follows. Defendant attorney, yes. Who told you about the restitution that you were entitled to? Jane, former NDILA USA. The same one that coerced her. That's coercion. It's right here. Defendant's attorney, okay. And when did that conversation take place? That was in person during one of our meetings. My lawyer was actually involved in that conversation as well. Defendant's attorney, okay. Anyone else? Not that I can remember. I'm not sure though. Defendant's attorney, and how much time was spent talking about restitution? I didn't understand it. So it wasn't much time spent on it at all. I actually got clarity through my lawyer. If that's not coercion, inducement, and enticement, then what is? You know what I mean? And what kills me is when people try to make, this is my life we talking about. And what kills me is when people sit back and try to make excuses, and for Greenberg and for others. No, I'm not making no excuses. But Be the Light said, it's so much more not being spoken about, allegedly. Greenberg said R. Kelly was guilty, but he fought the case because he allegedly said that he had bills too. That's the same thing Greenberg did when he fought the Menendez twins. Come on, man. Everybody have sympathy for me, have sympathy for me. But what about sympathy and what about sympathy for Robert? I guess that go out the window because people want what they want. But let's talk about facts and truth. This is crazy. After Kelly was convicted, Kelly later filed a motion for a new trial. And let me get this straight. I am not attacking nobody. I'm just saying what I have observed since the day this man got locked up the first time. And I'm speaking on it now. After Kelly was convicted, Kelly later filed a motion for a new trial on the basis that Jane did not testify truthfully about her intentions to seek restitution, which was facts. Kelly's motion was denied. Why? Thus, it is difficult to square Kelly's current allegation that the prospect of a financial reward to Jane, not Jane 1 and Jane 2, but just to Jane, was not disclosed when Jane was questioned about it at trial, and it was the subject of Kelly's post-trial motions. I put it to you like this. If Bo Brinley do not eat this goddamn thing up, Bo Brinley need to be fired, and Bo Brinley need to be prosecuted. If he don't eat this up, and I'm not a lawyer and I'm destroying this thing, if Bo Brinley don't step in and destroy this worse than what I'm doing, he's a sucker duck ass lawyer. And I think everybody should give him a bad review everywhere and report him to the Bar Association. And further, Kelly should be barred from even raising questions about Jane receiving restitution in a Rule 33 motion for a second time when this court already denied Kelly's previous motion for a new trial on similar grounds. Watch this. Now the government is telling you, now the government is saying that Robert Kelly shouldn't be able to talk about Jane receiving anything anymore. It's over with. Why do he get to talk about it? Because the more people talk about it, the more people see how unjust it was. And we, the government, do not want people to see the unjust treatment of Robert Sylvester Kelly. How dare you to come back after the big government? Well, I'm going to knock on wood about something. I'm going to give the government a surprise notice. The government is a de facto. That's why they are both stuck in what they saying and what they doing, because they just put out paperwork saying they can't answer no motions. They just put that out. So why are you answering motions? Why you want something denied if, per your words, we don't have lawyers to cover this? We not getting paid. But you got lawyers to do a denial, right? Mm. Mm. Let's make it make sense. Let's make it make sense. And my thing is, nobody want to make things make sense no more. People just want to just don't worry about nothing. Just they just want to, hey, let's just do this. Let's just not worry about it. Let's just, okay, let's sweep it under the rug and this and this and this and this and this. Why? What if this was you? What if this was one of your loved ones? See, people don't think about that. People don't think about that. Why? Because it's not conducive to them. This is not something that people want to even talk about. And the reason they don't want to talk about it is because the people said that R. Kelly was guilty over a fake docuseries that had actors portray as victims. Where were the victims? If you think I'm lying, let's go here. If you think I'm lying, let's go here. They say that surviving R. Kelly was the worst thing that ever happened, right? If that's the case, why was everybody paid? If they really was in pain, as they say they was, why was everybody looking for a payday? Why was everybody looking for a story? I got one deeper. Why did it take people 30 years later? And you know what they say? Oh, you can't tell a victim when to come out and speak. No, you can't. But I think it's kind of easy and kind of convenient for somebody to come out and say they're a victim when it's time to get paid. People don't want the truth. People don't want the truth. And I'm slow walking this for a reason. I'm slow walking this for a reason. Here we go. This is the reason why I was slow walking. Because people don't understand when I talk about de facto governments, what I'm talking about. So when people start talking about certain things that they don't know about, I will definitely put you on your square. And United States Corporation Company is a debtor. Which filed bankruptcy and voluntary Chapter 11. Here's the forms. Involuntary petition against a non-individual. So if the United States of America, the corporation, is a non-individual, how can they bring people? How can they bring a man or a woman and press charges? That part right there. And I'm glad Lady D wasn't behind it. I don't blame her. Alleged debtor, United States Corporation Company. Pay attention who their DBAs are. China Teletech, Corporation Service Company, CIS, Coastal International Security, China Telecom. I mean, pay attention. They also doing business with the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's why you will never see me call myself a Moor, because they sellouts. Here's your crown. This is what your crown, aka your birth certificate, I'm sorry, your certificate of live birth really look like when they put it on the stock market. That's why they give you a hard time about getting your certificate of live birth long form, because they have all your information on there, from your dates to your QSIP number, which matches right here. Make it make sense, man. Watch this. United States Corporation bankruptcy documents. Watch this. And I shouldn't even show this. I shouldn't show this because people told me that I was a liar, that I didn't know what I was talking about. This is one of the reasons why I don't pay bills the way everybody else do, because I'm not part of the de facto. So look, the White House, Washington. Look how it's worded. May the 4th, 2020. U.S. federal person, Roger Allen Moore, Raj, Amex. I'm going to ask this question. Amexum is what? American Cash Express, right? So, which is a Moore, Raphael. Taxpayer identification, descendant social security number, right there, right? The only person whose social security number begin with a 1 is this man. So it says, see United States Department of the Treasury, Internal Revenue Service Forms 2848. I dare somebody go and pull that form up. And if it say anything other than this, bring it to me and I'm going to talk about it. But it says, see United States Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Forms 2848, Power of Attorney and Declaration of Representative. And 56, Notice of Fiduciary Agent. Who showed y'all the Form 56 before? None other than who? Dana J. Sent December the 1st, 2019 via United States Postal Service, certified mail number, and it got the register's number. That's the certified mail number. Not the green form, but this is the red and white form this is the red and white stick I was telling you about, and the universal form. To whom? United States business entity this may concern. Who commercially operates on United States public markets and accepts and or exchanges in the United States currency while providing goods and or services to United States customers, consumers, and everyday commerce. The above mentioned United States federal public person has a prepaid, non-obligatory commercial debt obligation. Are you listening? The above mentioned United States federal person, aka African American, aka Black person, has a prepaid, non-obligatory commercial debt obligation arrangement with the United States and in relation to 12 USC 95A, regulation of transactions in foreign exchange of gold and silver, property transfers, vested interests, enforcement and penalties, part 2, and other public policy on U.S. debt. Dana, why are you reading this and you talking about R. Kelly? Because this is the main reason why he's booked. It ain't have nothing to do with them charges. It got everything to do with who he is, or should I say, who his persona became. It goes back to the catalog. They all work together. Your business entity is federally bound to United States and United States public debt obligations by way of your Internal Revenue Service employer identification number. By way of your Internal Revenue Service employer identification number, which is your original EIN, which is nothing but what? Your Social Security card. The IRS being under the U.S. Department of Treasury and your Federal Reserve business bank account. I'm going to ask this question. Have anybody known, or was anybody taught in school that you have a Federal Reserve business bank account? You have a Federal Reserve business bank account that you can't access. Why? Because how do you think you get paid? How do you think you get paid? If you don't provide your Internal Revenue Service EIN number, you won't get paid when you go to work. So watch this. Your business is hereby ordered. Hold on. Your business is hereby ordered to itemize. Your business is hereby ordered to itemize whatever and however many commercial products and or services in which the above U.S. federal public person wishes to commercially acquire. Which means your property, you being taxed for that. Your car, when you register it, you being taxed for that. Your paycheck, when you bring it home, you being taxed for that before you even touch it. Why? Because it comes from your Federal Reserve business bank account. Then it says adjust the bottom line, and they telling you how to do it. Adjust the bottom line, total cost amount to 0, and release the items. Provide a receipt to the above U.S. federal person by way of its duly authorized representative, Raj Raphael Sujuris, de jure, and proper person, and retain the record of the transaction to settle with your federal tax obligations. That's how you're supposed to pay your bills, with Internal Revenue Service, as the entire overall transaction is only a commercial accounting matter of what the bankrupt United States owes its true creditors, which is the American people, in direct relation to the Borrow Gold and National Banking Emergency Act of 1933. Y'all heard me talking about it. All commercial public debt obligations while transacting all business within the United States commerce markets belong to the United States, as the United States and is the true obligor in each and every U.S. commercial transaction. Question: if that's the case, why are we paying taxes? And then let's go here. How do you pay a debt with a debt? So now I just showed you that there's no money in the United States and that the United States is the true obligor for all debts, all public debts. I'm sorry. So this is why they hate this man, because he let the game out and we wasn't supposed to know it. And it says any willful dishonoring and or non-settlement of United States commercial public debt obligational matters by any duly bound commercial business entity within the United States will result in federal prosecution to the fullest extent of the law. To the fullest extent possible. Sincerely yours. Who? It's only one president that's bold enough to put that out there. Donald J. Trump. So with that being said, right? So with that being said, now we know that Robert was being attacked for his masters. And we know that. With that being said, they wasn't letting him get his masters, because then everything would have went downhill for their good old boy businesses. So they had to bring up these Trump charges, and now they don't want to let him out because he can file a tax exempt showing that he was in jail and he couldn't sign for his masters. And once he produced that, he have a 6-year window to go and get his masters and sign for it. They don't want that to happen. As long as he's incarcerated, he can't go get his masters. And he only got 3 years to do it in now. Other than that, he got to wait another 20 years. I'm sorry. So it says, suffice it to say, there is nothing newly discovered about the fact that Jane received financial benefits and had contemplated seeking restitution if Kelly were convicted. Pause. And we talking about 2 Janes now. But the government is making it seem like it's one. Nor is there anything newly discovered about the fact that Jane and her parents faced potential criminal exposure and received immunity. Defendant's attorney and you told the government that you would not cooperate unless they could give you an immunity deal, right? Jane said, I did not tell them that. No. Uh-oh. So that means the government willingly gave immunity. They knew that they was wrong, so they want to make her feel comfortable by throwing immunity out there to make her talk, even though nothing happened. So defendant's attorney, you asked for an immunity. You asked for an immunity deal through counsel, right? She said, correct. Defendant's attorney, and you asked for immunity for your parents too, right? Yes. Ooh. Defendant's attorney, now, if your parents didn't know anything and they were innocent in all this, why did you ask for immunity for them? Jane said, because with them not being truthful the first time, as far as what took place in 2008, I just wanted to make sure that they were protected with telling the truth and moving forward. Pause. I'm going to ask this question. How can you make sure they were protected when your dad got unalived before this even happened? This is nothing but a script. I told y'all about the script. This is nothing but a script. As long as Roshana stick to the script, she get paid. Judge Leavenweather didn't give them what they wanted. Jennifer Bonjean said, and I want to go back. And they agreed to give you immunity and protect your parents as well, right? Roshana said, correct. Jane was later cross-examined again over 3 pages of trial transcript about having received immunity and Jane's understanding of what having received immunity meant. Jane's mother, who testified under the pseudonym Susan, was also cross-examined at trial by Kelly's attorney about having received immunity from the government. There is no basis for Kelly to now suggest, as he has, that he just discovered that Jane and Jane's parents were made aware of their potential criminal exposure for obstructing Kelly's previous Cook County criminal investigation and helping to wrongfully acquit Kelly in Kelly's 2008 criminal trial. Pause. See how the government just cramming stuff in there that don't make sense? What Robert was saying he didn't know was about Azriel and Jane meeting with Larry. What Robert didn't know is the AUSA that jumped in as Boss Baby, and that named Rashona Boss Baby, coerced her. Robert ain't know that. And if you saying that Greenberg know that, that's prosecutorial misconduct, because now Greenberg is withholding information. Make it make sense. I'm gonna look at some of y'all comments. Oh boy, I'm afraid to see what y'all about to say. Mr. Kelly needs to complete his notice of termination paperwork. Mind you, 2015, 2016, the Olsen twins pop up talking about he reached out to them. He purposely being incarcerated so he will miss the deadline. Thank you, Queen B. Mind you, while I'm getting sick over this R. Kelly did no wrong, it's all about R. Kelly money. How can you take someone else's money, go get Diddy money? They're not going to do that. Prima Donna, wow. Yeah. Remember the Olsen twins told us Kells was trying to figure out about his residuals and money. Yeah, what about the twins? Again, those super fans, zoo animals, know exactly why they could never say nothing to me about Dana. Facts. So it says Kelly's only remaining hope for a new trial on the basis of newly discovered evidence then is the fanciful conspiracy alleging that Kelly's stolen jail correspondence was used to convince Jane to cooperate. This episode demonstrably did not happen. To the contrary, Jane cooperated with the government before Kelly was taken into custody. Watch this. Rashona cooperated with Kelly, with the government before Kelly was taken into custody. Azriel wasn't. See the bait and switch? They gave you 9 pages of 2 stories and 2 people that they're trying to make as one. This is why I said oh my God. Hold on, I'm gonna pause for a second. If anybody is in New York or got family in New York City, please call and make sure they're okay. There have been car bombs being set off in New York tonight, and people are hurt. Please check on your people in New York City if you have any. So it says, to the contrary, Jane cooperated with the government before Kelly was taken into custody. No, Rashona cooperated, not Azriel. But they put Azriel and Rashona together because both of them name was Jane. Now watch this. Do you not think that was by design that you named 2 people as Jane that's going against R. Kelly? So that way, nobody can sit back and figure out what's going on. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. This R. Kelly case is something like my case. No, I'm sorry. My case is something like R. Kelly case. It's so many twists and turns that a normal person would be like, yo, I'm not believing this. This ain't real. This ain't real. And when you listen to what's going on, That's what you say about the R. Kelly case. Like, hold on, man. This ain't real, man. That's crazy. This ain't real. Queen B said, hold on, let me go back to your comments because somebody's saying something good. Hold on. Let me see. Federal prosecutors probably trying to do everything to not feel embarrassed after they overcharged him for some BS. I agree. I agree. That's the mind game. Nobody said he didn't do any wrong. We said these charges are manufactured. That part right there. And I'm going to step and say this. What he's being charged with, he didn't do. Now, if he lied to some folks, yeah, I believe that. That's like Wade Roberson lied on Michael. Right, Judah? So Bo disposed, So Bo disposed to respond, right? Yeah, I think you're saying he's supposed to. Yeah, Ashley, he's supposed to respond. But I doubt if he do. But guess what? People don't care because they think he's guilty. Like I said, like I also said. So what else could I say? That part. And you got people that was talking about matter of fact, you got people that was screaming free R. Kelly that believes R. Kelly was guilty the whole time. It was just a come up for them. The government doesn't care about entrapment. We know this. Facts. Where I haven't heard nothing about a car bomb. I heard something about a car on fire. Let me check. Yeah, Gemini done. It just came across the bottom of my screen on my other computer. And Prima Donna definitely manufactured Prima, and the level of corruption within his cases is mind-blowing. I've literally never seen anything like it. Facts. They purposely intertwined the two James. Yep. Presidents. That part. Both supposed to respond, right? Yeah, Ashley. And that's why I screenshot and record, because I couldn't make this ish up. That part, Prima. I couldn't make none of this up. Dana have met Wade before. And at Prima Donna, nowhere I'm going with this. The real Rico would have been at the Chicago trial, because McDavid and whoever the other dude is, that would count as co-conspirators. Right. Now watch this. They was acquitted on all charges. And Robert was acquitted on all charges except for the other charges that they gave him, count 1, 2, and 9. But if they was with Robert all the time, how can they be acquitted on all charges and Robert be acquitted on some? Make it make sense. Kelly's allegations in support of his motion for a new trial are not material and would not have led to an acquittal on any counts concerning Jane. Pause. Now the government telling on itself. They said Kelly's allegations in support of his motion for a new trial are not material and would not have led to an acquittal on any counts concerning Jane. Bull crap. On both Janes. As to the topics of restitution, benefits, and immunity, Kelly's allegations are immaterial and merely impeaching and or cumulative, because Jane was already cross-examined on those topics. That's Jane Chicago, not Jane New York. So this letter is misleading. Kelly is not entitled to a new trial of any of these bases. Hold on. I got a question about something. I got a question. Hold on. I got a question. If the AUSAs mislead the government, if an assistant AUSA knowingly misleads the government, which is their client and the United States or a court, they can face severe professional or criminal consequences. The responses to such misconduct depends on the severity of the action and the intent and the outcome of investigations by oversight bodies. Professional and ethical consequences. The Department of Justice's Office of Professional Responsibility, the OPR, investigates allegations of professional misconduct by attorneys within the DOJ, including AUSAs. Internal discipline. If OPR concludes that an AUSA committed professional misconduct, e.g., violating the duty of candor, professional conduct rules, or the Justice Manual, the findings are referred to the Professional Misconduct Review Unit. This can result in internal disciplinary actions, which may include a reprimand, suspension, or termination of employment. State bar referral. OPR can refer its findings to the appropriate state attorney disciplinary authorities. State bar actions. Associations can conduct their own investigations and impose penalties such as private or public reprimands, suspension from the practice of law for a set period, or permanent disbarment. Court sanctions. Federal judges have the authority to punish attorneys for misrepresenting facts or law in court filings. Sanctions can include holding the attorney in contempt of court with fines or jail time, suspending them from practicing before the federal courts, or permanently barring them. Criminal consequences. God, they got this broken down. False statements. Oh, okay. Criminal consequences. AUSAs are not exempt from federal law. If an AUSA knowingly and willfully makes a materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement in a matter within the jurisdiction of the executive, legislative, or judicial branch of the U.S. government, they can be prosecuted under the same statutes that apply to any other individual. False statements, 18 U.S.C. 1001. This is a serious federal felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison or up to 8 years if the offense involves specific serious crimes like terrorism or certain sex offenses. Perjury, 18 U.S.C. 1621, 1623. If the false statements were made under oath in a federal court or before a grand jury, the AUSA could face charges of perjury, which also carry significant penalties. Obstruction of justice. If the intent was to influence or impede a federal investigation or proceeding, they could also face charges of obstruction of justice. So I have a question. With me reading that, why the AUSA that obstructed this case is not locked up? Now watch this. That a meeting with Kelly's stolen jail correspondence could not have occurred in November 2018 cannot be underscored enough. It is worth noting that Kelly's attorney cross-examined Jane at trial about, among other things, a series of text messages she exchanged with Kelly beginning in September 2018. The exchange continued until February 2019. ID, Kelly clearly was not in custody. Relatedly, Kelly's attorney cross-examined Jane about Jane texting Kelly about Jane and Kelly's reactions to watching the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. There we go again. This is two different Janes, which did not air until January 2019. Kelly's timeline is irreconcilable with the timeline of the investigation and Jane's cooperation as set forth in the trial record, underscoring that this meeting with Kelly's jail correspondence could not have occurred. False. We talking about two different Janes. So now the government, once again, is misleading. Among other things, material and not merely impeaching or cumulative, and probably would have led to acquittal. Even if the court were to accept Kelly's allegations, which the court should not, additional impeaching or cumulative evidence on topics for which Jane was already cross-examined is not material. Pause. So it's not material for other people. But to double jeopardize R. Kelly, that's material and grounds for locking them person up, right? Okay, I get it. Further, none of the evidence that Kelly claims to have newly discovered would have led to an acquittal on any count concerning Jane, counts 1, 2, 3, or 9. I believe they would have. Kelly's motion fails to account for those offense conduct depicted in video 2, count 2, and video 3, count 3. Watch this. Jane Chicago wasn't in video 2 or video 3. Now, he was found guilty on video 1. But Judge Levenweber said the way that it was agreed upon, if you can find R. Kelly guilty on video on video 1, 2, or 3, that's the way it was originally questioned. He came back and changed it and said, no, it have to be video 1, 2, and 3. No, I'm sorry. I got it backwards. It was really champion. If you can find R. Kelly guilty in videos 1, 2, and 3, then I find him guilty. But if you can't find him guilty on videos 1, 2, and 3, find him not guilty. He came back and changed it and took or out and put and in, which changes the whole dynamic of the questioning. So it says, in which Kelly and Jane explicitly discussing Jane being 14 years old. Wait a minute. This is a whole nother Jane now. While Kelly was performing Smex acts on her. Wait a minute. Pause. Because in the beginning of this, they said that she was performing Smex acts. So now they saying he was performing Smex acts. My question is, which one was it? With respect to count 1, Jane's birth certificate was admitted in evidence showing that Jane was born in 1984 and would have been a minor at the time that video 1 was filmed. Pause. I'm glad you said that. Because now I'm going to stop sharing that. I got something to show. Y'all know how this go. If that was her in video 1, then who was this? Who was this? Because the young lady that was in video 1, I believe, is to the right. And they used to call each other cousins. To the left is Lisa Van Allen. To the right is Adelina Prado. Uh-oh. What makes that so healthy? Adelina Prado says, this is most of them never took the stand. Van Allen's ex-boyfriend, Damon Pryor, the defense's surprise witness, who may or may not have talked to Van Allen about a Chuck and Keith planning to set R. Kelly up. Her friend, Adelina Prado, who may or may not have participated in threesomes with her and Kelly, and who may or may not have fielded a call from Lisa Van Allen. Uh-oh. This is who was on the tape. And at the time, when that tape occurred, because it was different scenes, she was of age. The other tape that made it famous, that tape was this guy, Damon Pryor, and this lady that's blurred out, Lisa Van Allen. This is the Colorado room. This is when he relieved himself on his baby mama. And Rob was nowhere to be found. So this is not Roshona. If you think I'm lying, let's move this over a little bit. Let's move that over a little bit. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. I don't know if y'all can see it side by side the way I just did it. I don't know if y'all can see it, but hold on. Let me try to, boom. Let me try to put them together like that. Let me try to do that. They are not the same person. But because they resembled each other then, they tried to put Roshona face on Adelina Prado, but the dark room exposure exposes it all. That is not the same person. That is not the same person. But if you let the janky people talk about it, they'll tell you it is. So I have another statement. You see, when people talk about allegations and all this and this and this and this and this, listen, here's the craziness. When they say that he abused his child and all this, all of that was found to be untrue. They even got the fake marriage certificate that's right here. Make it make sense. The fake R. Kelly joint that we know Don Russell did. We accept the terms of the contract. I do not consent to. Come on, really? But it all falls on R. Kelly. That's what I mean when I say you got to be careful in what you do to people. But hold on, I got one even better. Prima Donna sent me this. I just want y'all to know that. But attorney William Buddy Myers testified he would say that the alleged victim's relatives contacted him about representation and that he was never in possession of the video. Myers' testimony would impeach Stephanie Sparkle Edwards, the alleged victim's aunt. Edwards testified that Myers contacted her in the case. So hold on. Who sent the tape of Damon Pryor? And I'm going to go here because I want y'all to think. Who would have been around to send the tape of Damon Pryor and Lisa Van Allen masked as R. Kelly and Roshona to Jim Dariakis? Now, we seen a lawyer say, she ain't get it from me. Who would have did that? Stephanie Sparkle Edwards. Why? Because Robert didn't want to deal with her no more. But I'm gonna give you a bigger thought, a bigger plot. Who would have been a mastermind behind that? The same nigga I said he can rot and piss, Earl. Case closed. Why would Earl do that? Earl lost his woman. Earl lost his singing exposure. Earl lost everything to Robert Sylvester Kelly. So three major things that Earl lost that constitute three names: Robert Sylvester Kelly. Earl lost his number one singing spot in public announcement to who? Robert Sylvester Kelly. Earl lost Sparkle to who? Robert Sylvester Kelly. Earl got humiliated by who? Robert Sylvester Kelly. You think I'm lying? Go look at the video when a woman's fed up. Who you think he was talking about? The jumpsuit he was wearing, the workman's jumpsuit, is what Earl used to wear to go to work in. And Robert told Earl, stop treating her like that. Leave her alone, because she ain't, because, she for the streets. Who would have also backdoored R. Kelly? Barry Hankerson. Who took R. Kelly's label at first? Barry Hankerson. So how hard is it? So how hard is it to have Earl that can do what Robert can do, to have the backing of Barry Hankerson, and then can put Javante Cunningham into play, that can put Sparkle Stephanie Edwards into play, and come up with this convincing lie? Where have I seen this story play out before? I've seen this story play out before. Where did I see it play out at? George Soros, the new mayor of New York, Mondami, where they had to go after Donald Trump. Oh, see how this play out? That's why the Bible say nothing new happens under the sun. Because you've seen it before. You just got to understand where you've seen it at. People don't want the truth. People do not want the truth. And you know what they want to do? They want to sit back and run their mouth. Because people don't want the truth. And I'm breaking it down this way because I want you to understand that I'm destroying 3 birds with 1 stone. So, in which Kelly and Jane explicitly discuss Jane being 14 years old while Kelly was performing different acts with respect to count 1. Jane's birth certificate was omitted in evidence showing that Jane was born in 1984 and would have been a minor at the time of the video 1 was filmed, as well as video 2 and video 3. All of this same conduct, in addition to the sugar smacks abuse of Jane that occurred off camera, served as the basis to convict Kelly on count 9. And Jane's birth certificate proved that Jane was a minor at all times relevant to count 9. Further, Jane testified that she was in fact 14 years old when video 1, video 2, and video 3 were filmed. Now watch this. If you was there, Jane said that she had to see the video to see if it was her or not. And they told her that nobody can see the video because they don't know if it was altered or not. So they said that her personal testimony would count as golden. Where they do that at? So it says further, Jane testified that she was in fact 14 years old when video 1, 2, and 3 were filmed. Additional cumulative cross-examination on topics that were in fact explored before the grand jury would not have led to the jury to conclude that Jane was not a minor in the videos, particularly when her age was discussed between Kelly and her in 2 of the videos. Pause. Those videos that they talking about now, 2 and 3, they were the altered videos by Mr. Avenatti himself, particularly when her age was discussed between Kelly and her in the 2 videos. Objective evidence from her birth certificate proved that she was a minor in the videos and at the time of the abuse, and she testified as to her age in all the videos, per Mr. Avenatti. Kelly's motion does not concern count 10 or count 12. Kelly's motion is totally silent as to counts 10, Nia, and 12, Pauline, while Kelly frames the government's case as resting upon 1 victim and 1 video, docket 498 at 3 to 4. There were other victims, other videos, and a plethora of other evidence. Kelly provides no basis whatever for the court to consider granting a new trial with respect to these counts of conviction. Defendant's Sixth Amendment and due process claims are not based on newly discovered evidence. Defendant claims that he is entitled to a new trial because the government alleged embedded an informant as defendant's cellmate and tasked that individual with collecting defendant's privileged legal mail. Docket 498 at 23 to 25. First, the only evidentiary submission that touches these allegations is the declaration of defendant's alleged cellmate at the MCC, Kashan Modagadabidi, in which Mogagadami states he took defendant's legal mail and that Mogagadami's understanding was that documents were provided to the prosecutors in defendant's Chicago and New York cases. See docket 485-3. Mogadami also states that he communicated directly with a former AUSA, setting aside the moment whether monogamy is a credible witness. These statements provide no support for the contention that prosecutors solicited or even received defendant's legal mail. Taking the affidavit at face value, it contains, Mogadami is scheduled to be sentenced on December 11, 2015 in case number 18 CR after being charged with sex trafficking and other crimes. Okay. No claim of direct knowledge that any prosecutor's receipt, let alone solicitation of privileged communications, Mogadami conspicuously does not say, as defendant claims in his motion that an AUSA directed him to steal defendant's legal mail or that he provided stolen legal mail to any AUSA. Second, if the defendant's allegations were true, defendant utterly fails to explain how his claim constitutes newly discovered evidence. What? Or how it would have affected his trial. As noted above, a defendant seeking a new trial based on newly discovered evidence must show that the new evidence was both material and probably would have led to an acquittal. O'Malley case law. Implicit in that framework is a requirement that the defendant must show that the new evidence would be admissible at a new trial. United States versus Kalowski. Defendant does not tie his constitutional claims to any admissible evidence. He does not link his constitutional claims to any evidence at all. For example, he notes the risks. The government might introduce such communications at trial, docket 498 at 25, but he does not show or even allege that the government, in fact, introduced at trial any evidence obtained in violation of defendant's Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights. Defendant's claims regarding stolen legal mail are unsupported by evidence and untrue. So we supposed to believe that it's untrue because y'all say it's untrue? Come on, man. For that matter of fact, but they say it wasn't submitted by evidence, right? Hold on. But they say it wasn't submitted by evidence. Hold that fact. Hold that thought. Hold on. Hold that fact. If that's the case, that there's no fact of it, right? Then what is this? This is from Mr. Stein. That broke everything down. This is Mr. Stein. Now, the Mogadami dude, hold on. because the Mogadami dude, he needed a transcript or translate or something. But if this ain't evidence, and by the interpreter that was there, if this ain't evidence, then what is? And here's the search warrant that they never returned or turned over any evidence for. Here's the search warrant. And it clearly says it right here. I have also reviewed email communications that Officer A sent or received from Officer A's official BOP email address. These emails exist on the BOP network, and BOP provided law enforcement with the emails. On November the 13th, 2019, Officer A sent an email from her official BOP email address to a Gmail address. The Gmail address bears Officer A first initial and last name, and it appears to be her personal email address. The email contained an attachment named Scan001. The attachment is 12 pages long and contains MAA's record from the TrueView system. The first 4 pages of the email attachment appear to be scans of printers of inmates A's visitor logs. How did Tasha K get it? Sorry about that. The corner of each page has been ripped away or obscured in the scanning process. According to BOP information technology personnel, the corner of the page would have contained the date and time that the record has been accessed. So she's been doing this for a while. Come on, man. Like, come on. Like, it's all right here. This is all from the BOP officer computer. This is all from the computer. So why couldn't they send that to Robert Lawyer? Based on the above information, I respectfully submit that there is probable cause to believe that the offense of unauthorized access of a computer to obtain information from the Federal Bureau of Prisons in violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 1030A 2 and B has been committed, and that evidence and instrumentalities relating to this criminal conduct, as further described in attachment B, will be found in the subject computer. As further described in attachment A, I therefore respectfully request that this court issue a search warrant for the subject computer, more particularly described in attachment A, authorizing and seizing of the items described in attachment B pursuant to the protocol described in the addendum to attachment B. Matt Lowe, Special Agent, Department of Justice. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So the government is telling lies to try to cover themselves because they don't want to go back down that road again, because they know Robert will be vindicated. So it says, but he does not show or even allege that the government, in fact, introduced at trial any evidence obtained in violation of defendant's Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights. The defendant's claims, golly, my ear itching, regarding stolen legal mail are unsupported by evidence and untrue. Likewise, the defendant argues that the government used privileged information to influence witnesses in this case and access his trial strategy. Docket 498 at 26. Once again, defendant is unable to identify any specific trial strategy to which the government gained access and how his trial was prejudicially affected, because his claim is supported by no evidence and has no basis in fact. Defendant has not come close to meeting his burden of showing that he is entitled to a new trial under Rule 33. Conclusion: Kelly's motion for a new trial is untimely by a wide margin, and Kelly has not presented evidence to support his allegations that were that there is newly discovered evidence warranting a new trial, and his allegations are belied by the trial record and the public docket in this case. For all the foregoing reasons, the government respectfully requests that the court deny defendant's motion for a new trial. Now, I got a question. If I just sat there and debunked everything they said with nothing but proof, what do you think Bo Brinley should be able to do by him being a lawyer and he knowing all the jargon and all that? Make this make sense. But look, I want to let everybody know that I'm going to scream free R. Kelly into the end. Even at the end, I'm going to still scream free R. Kelly. With that being said, understand this. It's not just what the government done. It's what the people has done. It's the pickle of it all. Be careful who you let in your circle. Be careful who you talk personal business with. I was told some personal business that I disclosed when I got mad after people wouldn't leave me alone. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I don't feel good about disclosing that. But hell, I don't feel good about them playing with me neither. So at the end of the day, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Be someone important. Be yourself. Remember, elephants don't swat flies, and jets fly over turbulence. With that being said, don't feed the daggone zoo animals, even if they get let out. What do you mean, Dana?
Here's a story of a crooked zoo that was crowded, full of strange old poo. And they all lived inside the cage, full of anger, full of lots of rage. So one day when the zookeeper was out, they broke loose and started running about. Who let the animals out? The gorillas did. Who let the animals out? The moose did. Who let the animals out? The billy goats did. Who let the animals out? The drunk pigs did. Hey, hey, there's a schemer, always telling lies, and the liars, always in disguise.
Always in disguise.
There's the frauds, they are filled with greed, and the fakers planting evil seeds. Till one day when the zookeeper was out, they broke loose and started running about. Who let the animals out? The gorillas did. Who let the animals out? The moose did. Who let the animals out? The billy goats did. Who let the animals out? The drunk pigs did.
Begin to praise God for the morning. Begin to praise Him for the new morning. Begin to praise Him that you wake up. Begin to praise Him that you are here, that you have another chance to tell somebody.
I don't know what you think you are. You think you're some constitutional scholar, you're some celebrity. Keep her name out of your mouth. Keep his name out of your mouth.
Hallelujah, Lord. Hallelujah, Lord. Thank you so much. Yes, Lord. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Lord. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you...
See, the devil won't act stupid, but I don't have time for that. I don't have time for food shit. Y'all better quit playing with me.
I don't know what you think you are. You think you're some constitutional scholar, you're some celebrity. Keep her name out of your mouth. Keep his name out of your mouth.
I got arrested this past week because of him. I was arrested.
For what?
They lied on me. They lied.
Where?
On me. In Chicago. I got arrested. He called a lady up and had me arrested. They did a false report on me, and I'm just tired.
That's in Chicago. I can't help that.
I'm tired of him. Constantly. I call my mother, tell him that what they do to me. He's constantly like
Stay off the internet. Stop. None of this is worth it.
But he's doing it to me.
You're both from what you've both shown me, you're both doing it to each other. Stop.
I promise you.
It is a waste of your emotional capital. But I'm telling you both right now, don't waste my time in the future. This community has very important issues we are trying to address, and it is my job and my pleasure to help address them. But this crap, absolutely not. We are done with our hearing. You are all free to go.
Well, good night. And get that Dana J seasoning, man. Go like this.
Dana J hood season, man. I'm talking about that white dirt for all your vegetables and potatoes and anything from the garden, salads and everything. They got that Cajun. Oh my goodness, they got that ooh child. Don't forget that seafood. Last but not least, he got this thing called tropical. Go to Dana J Spices at yahoo.com.
I'm just saying, man. I feel like Charleston White.
I ain't have to help now more, you rotten asshole. Bitch, my mama ain't got a bunch of kids that died. Bitch, all you hoes buried your baby. Fuck y'all pain, bitch.
You know what I mean? On that note, I'm about to get out of here and I'm going to leave you with this.
New news drop. Yeah. Everybody stops and comes running. Oh, just to see what Dana J have to say. He brings the truth. Oh, day by day. Oh, live for live. Oh, now here's what you need. Jump in the line now. See what the receipt man is talking about. Dana J is on. And ready to give you flavor. Oh, baby, cause he on. Living color, baby. Your favorite blog is locked and loaded and ready to go.
I want to thank everybody that joined me tonight. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the cash apps. Guess what? We back at it tomorrow, and we talking about Trump, and we talking about what's going on in the election. Be prepared, y'all. Something major is on the horizon. And remember, I told y'all, get your thinking caps ready because we're going back into it. I'm out. Good night. Peace.
Sometimes a misty rain that gently touches my soul. Feels just like fire shut up in me. Yeah. Simply lose control. Oh, rain down, follow me. Let your love just fall like raindrops, rain. Follow me. Oh, rain down, follow me. Let your love just fall like raindrops, rain. Follow me.